Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Merchak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And is Lord willing, this would be in transit. And pretty much, I wanted to just speak a little bit more on recent articles, recent events, and recent videos that I've been seeing centered around the theme of, or the topic of, the famine of the word. Okay, which yesterday I did a lesson on this whole new thing where they're calling it the new denial, pretty much using climate change or people's opposition to climate change as a you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a launching point or a stepping stone to really push for people not being able to oppose the consensus of science. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you also have this bill that is being proposed over there in Canada. I think it's C3 something like that. C3 something. Basically to ban the public, praying and reading of the Bible and all of these things aloud. And also, I saw, I haven't seen the video yet, but from the title, okay, it was a lesson that was done by the elder Manat Zakba, and it was titled, the UK pretty much are going to try to ban what they call hate preachers from entering the country. Okay, so you have, and also, right, there's some more, There was a video that was done by the elder Tazwam as well, and I don't remember the exact title, but I know it was related similarly to the topics I just mentioned. But this one was was happening here in Washington, in the U.S. Okay, so pretty much the point is that, like I mentioned in my lesson yesterday, the Most High is the one who's ultimately gonna bring the famine of the word, because it's His word, right? Like the scriptures, the understanding, all of that was given to us by Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. So it's the word of the Lord. Okay, and He gives it out, at the allotted time that He wants, but there's coming a point in time where He's going to take that away. Okay, pertaining to Amos 8 and 11 and Second Ezra, the 5th chapter, right? Which this is going to be a very key time, because a lot of people are taking the word of the Lord, at least the free access of the word of the Lord, for granted. Okay, and that's because in this time, they don't see the importance of it, and that's because they don't have the faith to believe. Okay, but through the faith, we're able to see, just like Noah was able to through faith and fear of the Lord, he believed the warnings that were given him by Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai concerning the flood. Now, what would have happened had Noah said, "Ain't no way, there's going to be a flood to where everybody's going to die. Nah, that's too crazy. It can't happen. I'm not even with that." Guess what? Everybody would have died. Everybody would have died. And where would you and I and everybody else be? I don't know. Because we all come from Noah, right? And his 3 sons. So really from Noah. But had he been in disbelief, hey, it would have been over. But he believed, having not seen, but having the fear of the Lord, he believed. And that's the problem. These people, they don't have that faith to be able to believe the things that we're warning them about, i.e. the chaos, the famines, the martial law, the sihib, right, the prophecies. And because they don't believe that, they don't care much for the word of the Lord. But when the judgment starts to come, guess what? The author of those judgments, of the destruction of all of that, is going to be none other than Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, the same one whose word you didn't care much for. And as it is written in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, right around the 13th verse, then I think it's they shall know it. I think it's for such as in their life, basically, let me roughly paraphrase because I can't remember the exact wording. But basically it says that then shall they be in pitiful case, who have loathed my law, and when they had yet liberty, or when a place of repentance was opened unto them, they despised it. And that's basically when the Lord had us out here prophesying, warning you, giving you the basically the second chance, to turn to the Lord. So you can, it's kind of like judgment is coming and you got to opt out. Now, it's interesting how the Lord set it up, because only the ones that are of the elect are going to opt out. Okay? But you got to opt out. And so the Lord is like, well, I have these men out here showing you how to opt out of this judgment, but only the elect are going to do it. So, in other words, these people are just like, yeah, whatever. And when the judgment comes to pass, then they're going to be coming to seek the form. Where can I go to opt out? I don't want this shit no more. I don't like this. I don't want to experience this. It's like when you're working at a job and they tell you you've been auto enrolled in X whatever, and if you don't opt out by a certain date, it's going to start to maybe come out of your paycheck, and then you disregard it, and they keep sending you them emails, right? The HR people keep on sending you emails, last week, starting next week, this is going to go into effect, and then you disregard it, and then you forget about it. Then all of a sudden, payday comes, and it's not just a regular payday. This is the payday you've been waiting for because you need it. You, like SpongeBob, I need it. You need it in order to bring it, into your wallet, and so you can pay your bills. And just as that payday comes, your paycheck, half of it is gone. You're looking at it, you're wondering what the hell just happened to my paycheck. And so you go and inquire, and they say, oh, well, the auto enrollment had kicked in, then you didn't opt out. So that's what happened. And I'm sorry, but we're not going to be able to do anything about it. So you got to deal with it. If you opt out, maybe you can find a way to opt out now, but it's not going to do anything about this paycheck. It'll make sure they don't take it out of your next paycheck, something like that. See, at that point, when you see half your paycheck gone, that's when you're going to say, yo, I want to go, give me that, where do I go and opt out of this shit? I don't want this. But it's too late. Half the check is gone. And the bills are there. And you got to pay it. So I'm giving that analogy to compare it to this, to say, the Lord has us out here warning you that, hey, judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. We're like the HR people that are sending you those constant emails. Judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. The Lord is going to bring this. The Lord is going to do this. The Lord is going to bring this. And the regular folks are just ignoring it, disregarding it. Yeah, whatever. They walk by. Yeah, I don't believe that. Oh, whatever. I don't care. I don't have time for that. And so the judgment is going to come, and they're never going to have opted out. And guess what's going to happen to them when the famines come? They're going to be the ones in situations where they end up committing cannibalism, end up killing their own children and eating them and doing all sorts of horrendous things. Why? Because they didn't take heed. They didn't take heed, and so now the judgment is coming upon them. And it's at that point that they're going to seek the word of the Lord, because it's just, look, the employee who gets the half of his check gone, when he goes to HR, he's not going to go to HR asking about benefits. He's not going to go to HR asking for the employee handbook. He's going to go to HR asking for specifically the cause of his paycheck being gone. So when all hell breaks loose, when these judgments come upon these people, the one thing they're going to seek is the cause. They're going to seek whatever is directly related to their problems, which is going to be the words of the Lord. They're going to remember. You may have amnesia when you see them email notifications, but you sure as hell going to remember everything when you see your check is gone. So it's the same thing. When these people get hit with that famine, they're going to remember everything. They're going to remember those words very vividly. The Most High is going to put it right up into your mind. Yeah, remember what those men were saying? Yeah, well, this is it. And there's nothing like a fresh dose of reality to hit you on a Saturday morning, when you least expect it. And that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be very horrific. I implore you to read about some of these like tragic times in history. If you read history, you come across some of these situations. Even in the book of Josephus, when he gives the account of some of the things that were happening within the walls of Jerusalem during the siege of Jerusalem, all right, as they were starving, some of the horrific things that were taking place inside the walls, okay, and that's just one example, right? There's many other examples of tragic incidents that have happened throughout history. And if you can get a good account of those and read in detail, you'll see how horrific it is exactly. Like some of the things that people went through and experienced. Even if you read about the transporting of slaves across the transatlantic, right, as they call it, the transatlantic slave trade, and you read about the conditions in detail, you'll see how horrific it was that people had to endure things like that. But the times we're coming into, the scriptures say, pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7 and Daniel 12:1, that none of those things that you can read about in history will compare to it. That's why it says that day there's going to be none like it. There's going to be no other time period that is comparable to that time. So in the future it'll be like, yo, you remember the Black Plague? Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as the time of Jacob's trouble. That was just crazy. Because the time of Jacob's trouble is a time the Lord has declared to be a time of his greatest judgment upon the earth. So when it comes to pass, it doesn't matter what you think, what you say, how you feel. When you experience the pain, the suffering, the fear of loss, you'll reality will hit differently. And you'll start to understand why it is that in these like post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows, people rarely smile and laugh. Like the I Am Legend or The Walking Dead or the Book of Eli. It's rare that you see these people laughing and giggling every 2 seconds like you see people doing today on their phones. All that is going to be done away with. It's going to be a time of the past. It might feel weird how you can count how many times you've laughed in the past week because of how bad it's going to be. And what's going to make it worse is the fear of not knowing. You're not going to have certainty because you're not going to know. You're just going to be caught up. See, a part of the message is the stability. Isaiah 33:6. For wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Right? And strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai comes with you being equipped mentally to be stable when society crumbles, which is a trait that not everybody's going to have. Slakia. So it's not going to be just, oh, I'm stable because I know what's going to happen. That stability is, that knowledge, I should say, is going to come with a spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai upon you. In order to keep you calm, so you don't panic and bug out, and lose it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, what we're saying is not a game. Here it is. You got. I mean, we're not idiots. We study. We know these things. I mean, we look into things thoroughly. We do a diligent search. Okay, so if this is something that we spend, our lives doing, clearly there got to be something. There got to be something in it. There's something at the root somewhere. And that's why we keep on warning, because it's going to get bad, and it's not going to be like those movies and TV shows that you can press pause on. Here it is. The jump scare comes in, right? Jump scare comes in, and then Shorty throws the popcorn up in the air and hides her face inside of your chest. Oh, it's so scary. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect that to happen. You haven't seen like how some people react to scary movies or haunted houses, like those experiences when you see them on camera, and they're just losing their shit. And the thing is, they know they know that it's fake. Look at how scared people are when they go to these amusement parks and they go into those like scary haunted houses, knowing very well it's all fake. They know it. They know it. They know that they're going into a haunted house. The purpose of it is to scare them. It's not real. Nobody's gonna actually physically harm you, but they're just there to scare you. And even knowing, being consciously aware that it's all props and set up, look at how terrified these people still are. Being followed by somebody wearing a mask with like a fake chainsaw, and he's chasing you, but he's never really gonna actually catch you. Like, he might touch you, or but you gotta, he'll let you escape, because that's the point. And they're petrified. What do you think reality? What do a nigga like me? What do you think reality is gonna be like? If something as fake as a haunted house at an amusement park, scares the living life out of people, what you think reality is gonna do when you know it ain't fake? When this guy is holding an actual chainsaw, and maybe he got a demon on him, and you know it ain't fake because you just saw him cut somebody's head off with that chainsaw, and now he's following you. Now that's a different dose of reality, ain't it? And at that point, it doesn't matter what you believe. You're gonna understand fear. You're gonna know what true fear is like. And what's gonna make it even scarier is the fact that you're not gonna know or have help to come from anywhere else. Reality is not a TV show. In reality, the good guy doesn't come at the end of the day to come and save you. There is no white knight, on a white horse. There is no Hercules coming. There is no, when society gets that bad, there is no 911 coming. It doesn't matter how loud you scream. Nobody's gonna stop and, oh, let me come and help you. The hope is you scream so that people can hear it and come and help you. But what happens when you scream and people see you and they still keep going? Because they're afraid and they're trying to survive themselves. That reality is not one that you want to find yourself in. Okay? And how does this relate to a bill being passed about the famine of the word, or not being able to preach the word? Well, when that happens, that is the Lord setting that up. That is the Most High purposely having it that way so that we can't speak this word anymore. And that is to signify that it's time. Okay? It's time. The prophets prophesy, meaning they tell you what's going to happen before it happens. So when it starts happening, our job is done. The warning was prior to it happening. Going back to the HR example with the emails, right? You don't keep getting those emails after the effective date has already come to pass. They'll tell you, well, last week before this thing kicks in, and then when it kicks in, that's it. No more emails. Because what are they gonna tell you? It's now a week after it's kicked in. Your chance to opt out was before it kicked in. So it's the same thing, man. When all hell starts breaking loose, Lord ain't gonna have us out here. So that famine of the word is gonna be, to signify the commencement of, let the games begin, pretty much. And at that point, you either have it or you don't. And you better hope and pray that if you know or you're with the man of the Lord, that that you're in good graces. Because if not, and you find yourself out there by yourself, well, it's going to be an interesting experience, to say the least. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say on that. As you're seeing more and more of these articles coming out, just know the time is short and short and short. So cherish this word and take it seriously. And get the most out of it that you can now. Build up your faith as best you can now, because that's pretty much all you're gonna have in that time. That's the faith is the only thing that's gonna make sense when all hell breaks loose. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.